I don't think this is a bad game, but I do think it's a flawed game. Just throwing that out there before the angry mob shows up. Alright, I know what you're thinking. This guy's an idiot. Super Mario Sunshine is perfect, and I'm gonna leave a comment without watching the rest of the video. Ah! Yeah, I'm not gonna mince words here. I don't think it's anywhere close to perfect, but is any game really perfect? 64, no. Galaxy, no. Odyssey, pretty much, no. This video isn't about general disdain for Sunshine. This is just about how I feel like it could have been improved. Because upon returning to it after years of neglect, there are some aspects of it that just don't make sense when compared to its brethren. Sunshine is grouped by Nintendo into the category of sandbox Mario games, along with Odyssey and Super Mario 64, as opposed to being grouped into the linear category with the likes of Galaxy, Galaxy 2, 3D Land, and 3D World. But if you look at it this way, Sunshine almost seems like it doesn't belong with 64 and Odyssey, as even the Galaxy games are less linear than Sunshine. Sure, Sunshine's levels are more open and reminiscent of what Mario 64 had to offer, but anyone who's done a playthrough of the game can tell you how it goes. To beat the game, you need to get to Mission 7 in each of the 7 stages and defeat Shadow Mario, thus unlocking Corona Mountain and the final boss. This means you need 50 Shine Sprites in total to beat the game, that one extra one coming from the airstrip at the beginning. So what's the issue? That sounds just like Super Mario 64 and Odyssey, right? In Super Mario 64, Odyssey, and even Galaxy, when you collect stars or moons, you're constantly working up to that magical total that'll let you take the fight to that boorish brute Bowser. But along the way, you can collect any of the MacGuffins available to you to reach your goal. In Sunshine, since you are required to get the 7th shine on each level, none of the shines you collect before or after that really matter at all. It's just that 7th one that matters. In fact, speedrunners have shown just how unimportant the missions beforehand are with tricks like Serena Beach Skip. By collecting the 8th shine sprite early using means I will never be able to replicate on my own, they're able to skip the entirety of Serena Beach by just selecting the 7th shine from the mission select, and the game just doesn't care. This effectively means if there was some magical way to dupe the game to thinking that you were on the 7th mission in each stage right off the bat, you could beat the game with 8 shine sprites. That's not very exciting, is it? And here lies my problem with this game. Being forced to play each level to just about completion in every playthrough sounds like the definition of linearity to me. In Mario 64, I could at least decide that I didn't want to play Jolly Roger Bay on a repeat playthrough, and I could just compensate the lack of stars by visiting other levels or finding secret stars. In Sunshine, though, once I hit Mission 7, there's nothing keeping me in that world any longer. Those 8th missions will just sit there, incomplete and distraught, along with all the secret shines, because why should I bother? If you're a completionist, things are different, of course, but every time you sit down to play this game casually, the biggest difference you'll find is the order you'll do things in, which is really restricting compared to other Mario games. And don't even get me started on the blue coins. If there's no point in me collecting the 8th shine on each level, I'm not gonna hunt around for 240 of these blue monstrosities to trade into that treasonous Tanuki. I swear, next time you lose something necessary for survival, you better hope I don't find it. But threatening raccoon dogs aside, how do we fix this, that which I have deemed an issue, thus making it correct and totally unarguable? Well, the simplest solution, of course, would be to just add a shine sprite goal and leave it at that. 70 out of 120 shines, then Corona Mountain opens up. But that wouldn't be very Super Mario Sunshine-y, would it? The idea of having to hunt down Shadow Mario in every stage is actually a fun concept, so maybe we just need to tweak that a little bit. Let's throw a hypothetical out there, shall we? We still add a shine goal for you to reach, but some things along the way are a little bit different. So let's say you're playing through Shine 4 in Bianco Hills when you decide that you want to explore a bit. You make your way up to the area where Petey Piranha will be in Mission 5, and once you reach the top of that small mountainous area, lo and behold, Shadow Mario is up there, harassing some locals and making a mess. Seeing this, you break away from your old objective and leap into action. You give chase like you would in a normal game, and once he's defeated, he drops a shine sprite for you that doesn't take you out of the level, but instead allows you to save and continue, much like the Super Mario 64 100 coin stars. In this scenario, Shadow Mario was found in Mission 4, but let's say you're investigating elsewhere during another mission, you might just stumble upon him somewhere else. If you defeat him again in another mission after already taking his shine, you'll be rewarded with a number of blue coins, which once you have enough, you're able to trade in for shines like normal. This would cut down on the hunting for blue coins, which is exhausting, and it gives Shadow Mario another purpose other than being the designated Corona Mountain roadblock. And now, my dear fellow, that means if you want to torture yourself with pachinko, it'll actually mean something instead of just being an exercise in patience and frustration. You'll have plenty of chances to find him in each mission and every level, but if you decide you don't want to look for him, I feel like the worst it should do is deny you the ability to see that sweet postcard at the end of the game for getting 100%. Oh, and speaking of that, is that what Nintendo called a reward back in 2002? For suffering through, this and finding all of those? I think we could do a little bit better than that. Now, unlike my previous ideas, this is something I could actually see being addressed in a Sunshine remake if we ever get one. But seeing a postcard full of friendly faces that arrested you and forced you into hard labor over a crime you didn't commit doesn't really feel like a reward. Now think back a bit. What does Nintendo usually do these days when you complete a game fully? They either let Luigi run rampant on an alternate universe edition of Mario's adventure,
Oh yeah!
or they give us a final challenge level like Grandmaster Galaxy or Darker Side. Since we know Nintendo is completely crazy when it comes to some of their decision-making processes, it's really hard to tell what they might do with a remake of Super Mario Sunshine, but the closest thing we have to go off of for this is Super Mario 64 DS. There wasn't like an extra challenge level in that, but there were extra levels, and there were extra characters, so maybe they wouldn't be opposed to doing both of those things. A dream come true would be the addition of Luigi, Wario, and dare I say Waluigi as playable characters, but realistically, I could at least see them letting us play as Luigi either during the campaign or afterwards. And as for the extra levels, picture this. You've just nabbed your 119th Shine Sprite and you've beaten Bowser. You watch the ending, the credits roll on by, and as you're still fuming because of how awfully designed the Watermelon Festival was, the postcard fades in. In the bottom right corner, you see Mario is actually holding it, and after a moment, he flips it over, and you can read what's printed on the back. There's an advertisement for new tourist attractions coming soon, and then the screen would fade to black and return you to the main menu. After seeing this ending, you're able to look around Delfino Plaza again to find a few new areas to really test what you've learned throughout your adventure. Think of all these new places popping up, sorta like the Moonrock missions in Odyssey. There would be new special courses where Flood is absent, courses that hold gauntlets where you'd use each of Flood's nozzles, some courses dedicated to Yoshi and his abilities, and it would all culminate with a final romp through a new level with just one shine at the end. And that final shine would bring you up to 150 shines total, much like Super Mario 64 DS. Upon beating the game again, this time with the 150 shines in tow, the postcard would look a bit different. Instead of the photo of Mario and the gang, it would instead be blank and marked with a giant green L. As you might infer, in this fantasy world version of Super Mario Sunshine, the postcard would fade out and a text box would appear to let you know that you can now play as Luigi. Starting up a new file will let you choose between the brothers, and whoever you pick, you'll be stuck with for the entire game. So now, you can go about collecting everything again except with Luigi this time. He'd control a little bit differently, just the usual stuff, and maybe for fun, his water tank would empty faster or something? I don't know, you could also just throw in another harder mode difficulty, where I guess maybe you have less water, you have less health, stuff like that. People like a little bit of a challenge, right? It's big boy mode. You better watch out. My point is, anything would be more interesting than that slap in the face the original game gives you. I don't revisit this game nearly as often as the other Mario games because of the previous mentioned linearity and because I'm not really a huge fan of the controls. But having something extra to look forward to upon completion would personally keep me coming back. Plus, the stages are gorgeous and the music is fantastic, so what's not to love about that part of it, at least? If we ever did get a remake, I know they're not going to change it to the extent I've detailed here, because at the end of the day, this is just the ramblings of a fan who wants to see more. Honestly, I'd really love to see a remake of this game, because on modern hardware, they could make this game gorgeous. Plus, I can say with some confidence that I feel like they could have handled a few things from the original game a little bit better. But that's all I got for this today, so if you enjoyed my ideas, please let me know down below, and if you've got any other ideas on how I could improve this little hypothetical, I'd love to hear about them. I'd also be very interested to hear if you think I'm totally off the mark and you think Sunshine is perfectly fine on its own, and the reasons behind that. So, that is all for today. So if you like this video and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord to keep up with more of whatever the heck this was, and other things that aren't this, because I do a lot of things. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to my current supporters, who are Nick46 Longplays, Jeremy, Cosmic Mushroom, Reverb, Requiem, Silva PhD, Knuckles Channel 3 and Knuckles, Jaded Indolent, Lucas Tallman, Nico the Person, Just Kenneth, Henry S, Rob Morrison, Mega Trafficone Creative, and Mike TGC. Thank you guys so much for supporting, it really means a lot, and if you have any interest in supporting yourself, please go ahead and click that join button beneath the video, or check out my Patreon page where you can see all of the perks you get for supporting, such as getting shoutouts at the end of every single video and stream. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
The horror.